Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Hey, Quad Violet. Hey, Adam. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get this thing started here. I hope everyone's doing well. What up, Zumba? What up, Lala? What up, Tiffany? I hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful evening. What the hell did I do with my Gatorade? What did I do with my Gatorade? That's weird. I don't know what I did with my Gatorade, guys. Oh, well. Oh, well. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I had a yellow Gatorade, and I don't know what I did with it. I'm not sure how I misplaced it. I could have sworn I had it here on my desk. Dollar for donuts. I could have sworn I had it here on my desk. I don't know. Anyway, guys, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. This is Late Nights with Santana. We are going to go ahead and get started here in just a moment, guys. We have an amazing topic that we will be covering this evening. We are having a community conversation, and not a community conversation in the sense of like it's exclusive to just a subsection of the community, but the community as a whole. And we are talking about something that we all need to really engage more in. So we're looking person to person, breaking down where's the humanity, right? We're looking at we're taking a look at the isms, right? The isms that face all of us, the isms that continue to actually harm so many of us as a whole. And that's the root of the conversation. But we're also taking a look at the language of inhumanity, the way that people continue to weaponize dehumanizing language, and how that actually affects people. So we're definitely taking a look at that. Let's see here. Go ahead and get them in here. Next, we are doing eye for an eye. We are all harmed. It's taking a look at not only the harm that's being caused when you talk about the people that are a part of these marginalized communities with this harmful rhetoric, but we are also taking a look at the other people that are impacted vis-a-vis the harm. And last but not least, we're taking a look at the Back to the Future, which we take a historical look at the different systems and terms that have continued to disenfranchise people and how they actually tend to repeat themselves. And while repeating themselves, continue to be unsolved. So we're going to dig into all of that. So with that being said, guys, if you're interested in joining the conversation, this is Late Nights with Santana. That means any and everyone can join the conversation. Hey, guess what? If you want your voice heard, then you have the opportunity to do so. The only thing that you have to do is hit that request button, and you can hit that request button if you're on TikTok, but you can also join from YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Instagram, all you got to do is click that link that is in the request. FYI, good call out, Dwayne. This is not sparring. Anyone that may be here hoping for a debate, sorry, this is not a debate. This is not a debate. This is not a debate. This is Late Nights with Santana. Again, this is a panel discussion. This is a conversation where any and everyone is welcome. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. Let's go, guys.
Yeah, this ain't your regular panel. Nah, we speak the truth. Late Nights with Santana and Mama Jones watching. Better keep it clean. Let's go. Late Nights truth in the convo. Everybody get a seat at the table. From the block to the books, we mindful. No screaming, just dreams and the Bible. One mic, one voice, we build bridges from the heart of the hood to the world's big issues. Politics, pay, different cultures, but the real ones listen before they rebuttal. Late Nights with Santana, yeah. Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot, but we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Yeah, Late Nights with Santana. You already knew. Late Nights with Santana. Late nights, no static, no highlight reel. This the soul's reflection. No shade throwing, just connection. From streetwise truths to deep reflections, we turn hard talks into blessings. They say they run the game, we build new rules. We here to heal, uplift, and break the old rules. They kept us boxed in, divided by fear, but you found us lined up when the truth appears. Yeah, weekly topics, hearts wide open. No judgment, just motion. Real ones are talking, no cussing. Cause Mama Jones still watching, no fronting. Yeah, Late Nights with Santana. You already knew. Late Nights with Santana. Late nights, no static. Yeah, Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot, but we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot, but we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Weekly topics, hearts wide open. No judgment, just motion. Real ones are talking, no cussing. Cause Mama Jones still watching, no fronting. Yeah, Late Nights with Santana. You already knew. Late Nights with Santana. Late Nights with Santana. You already knew. Late Nights with Santana. Late nights. Late Nights with Santana. You already knew. Late Nights with Santana. Late nights.
Hey, welcome in, guys. Welcome in. This is Late Nights with Santana. This is a panel discussion. And this evening we are talking about we're talking about something that is super, super important, something that we all need to actually dive into, and something that we need to actually be able to break down as a whole. And it's the way that we treat people. I think that's a really good way to kind of baseline it. One thing that I want to talk about for a second before we go too deep. I know I spoke a lot about the fact that we put off intersectionality to be able to have this conversation. And last night we got a little close, a lot bit close to intersectionality, and which I think intersectionality is absolutely amazing and absolutely necessary. I think that tonight we need to bring it back. We need to take a wider view, and we need to make sure that we are actually dealing with the topic at hand. And the topic at hand is ensuring that we understand what these actual things are, how do we actually approach them, how do we address them, and how we actually break those down. And now, while I will be talking to people that are part of marginalized communities, tonight we're not going to put a specific focus on individuals' marginalized communities. No. I want to make sure that we take a look at the different marginalized communities as a whole and make sure that we know how to address those. So if you are interested in joining the conversation, go ahead and hit that request button. I'm going to start bringing people in here in just a moment. So please go ahead and hit that request button. If you're over on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Instagram, you want to join the conversation, you can. If you don't want to join, if you are not someone that actually wants to join the conversation for now, don't worry. You still have a part to play. Tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin and will boost the live and push us out to the FYP. Right now, we have the little pink heart puffs. We have the little pink heart puffs. That is the daily gift goal. So go ahead and knock those out. And also, I would love to have people who have not had an opportunity to join the conversation join. While I love having some of the similar people come back and share maybe some of their opinions or things along those lines, if you've already had the opportunity to speak, I'm going to say, can you hold off for a while? Let's see if we can get some new people in here, and then we'll circle back around throughout the later parts of the week. But I want to make sure that we're able to hear the voices of people who have not got an opportunity to actually join the conversation. So let's see here. I'm going to start bringing people in. And as I bring you guys in, please make sure you mute yourself. Please mute yourself. And we will go ahead and get the conversation going.
We are Santana. We carry the flame.
Hey, I know you may think it's funny and you're here to troll and it's weird. This is not the place for that. Legitimately, this is not the place for that. And I'm just going to go ahead and block you because not only is it not funny, but we're trying to have an actual serious conversation here. I apologize, guys. Please make sure that if you are interested in joining the conversation, go ahead and request up. We're going to go ahead and get that started. If anyone else, take a look over here on the YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Instagram. It looks like we're all, oh, sorry, hold on. Let's see if we can actually get this one right tonight. I think we got a chance. Give me a second. Let's see. Okay, Phoenix, can you hear me? Phoenix, I can see you. Oh, it looks like you're off mute now. Can you hear me? Oh, Phoenix. I don't know what it is. There's something about the way that you're coming in, because you're coming in on mute, which isn't like a way that people normally come in. So I'm not exactly sure what's happening at this moment. It may be the actual way that you accept the connection prior to actually coming in. Okay. All right, Phoenix, well, you can try to come back up. I'm going to drop you down if you can hear me. Hopefully we'll be able to get you in here, and then we'll be able to go ahead and move forward with these conversations. But again, if anyone else would like to join the conversation, go ahead and request up. Like I said, this is a panel discussion and everyone is welcome. And we're going to go ahead and do a quick introduction. And once we complete this quick introduction, we will go ahead and get into the conversation. So first and foremost, Omni, how are you?
I'm chilling, man. How about you?
Good. Omni, can you tell the people, are you a part of any marginalized communities? And if so, which one?
I'm part of the LGBTQ community.
Okay. All right. And I have a follow-up question for you. Outside of your community, how well do you think you know the harmful things that occurs when it comes to systems and rhetorics around other communities?
I think I have a pretty good understanding. However, I am still learning. I still want to learn more, and I'm always open to learning and everything.
Okay.
Things I thought was correct before or like okay to do before, I've learned to, not do them anymore.
Okay.
And I'm just open to learning. I just want to learn more.
Absolutely. Perfect. Thank you so much. Give me a second here, okay?
Of course.
Kay, how are you?
Good evening.
Good evening. Kay, can you tell the people, are you a part of any marginalized communities? And if so, which ones?
I'm part of the queer community. It's the only one that I,
Okay, perfect. And Kay, Can you tell the people what's your understanding of the impacts that are occurring with these systems and terminologies to other marginalized communities outside of yours?
Rather broad. I mean, with my career and working in the field, there's, quite a bit of knowledge there, but there's always room to keep learning. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Give me a second. Joanna, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Joanna, can you tell the people, are you part of any marginalized communities? And if so, which ones?
I am. I'm a Black woman.
Absolutely. And Joanna, what's your understanding of the impacts to the other marginalized communities outside of your own when it comes to the systems and terminology?
I have some knowledge. I sit in spaces that talk about a lot of very intelligent things, lots of intersectionality conversations, and I read. Shout out to Ari and her book club.
Absolutely. Perfect. Thank you so much. And let's try one more time. Phoenix, are you there? Phoenix, I saw you come in with your mic off and then you muted yourself. All right. I don't know, Phoenix. I know last night you said also you were having an issue when you came over to TikTok and it wasn't working. Yeah, I don't know. I can see you chatting, but I don't know if you're off mute or no. Okay, now it says that you're off mute. Can you try saying anything? Okay. All right. Sorry, Phoenix. Again, if you want to try again later, or if you want to try to come over to TikTok, you can do so. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but let's do this. Before we go too far, and before we actually have any type of deep conversations, I want to kick the ball over to Kay. Even prior to me doing the overall introduction, I want to give the ball to Kay. And Kay, I know you and I kind of had a conversation, and we're trying to make sure that we're getting a deeper level of understanding and pulling the conversation, blowing it out somewhat, so we can make sure that we're focusing on more broader strokes and creating a firmer foundation versus being hyper specific. So, Kay, can you go ahead and set the table for us, and then we'll move forward from there.
So one of the reasons why I didn't want to run specifically intersectionality this week, and I wanted to kind of roll into like these very core basics, is because of something that I see pretty much daily, whether you come to sparring or you're at late nights, and that is the friendly excuse. It's the you're told not to do something in the chat, use ableist language, you're just seen interacting in a conversation that doesn't include you. If it is a community conversation and there's a lot of, white people in the chat adding their comments or thinking they're being funny and being part of the joke when it's not your conversation. So part of the reason why I wanted to come down to these basics was because specifically of a message one of the mods got. And I think it was a classic example of how people think that they are quote unquote friendlies while having absolutely no idea of the harm that they can cause. And that message came to a mod and said that they were friendly. They've been watching Santana for 4 years. That's important to this. I don't know what you were doing 4 years ago, buddy, but we started kind of together. So I don't, the math doesn't math there.
I don't even think I had a TikTok at all 4 years ago.
Right. So they've been watching for 4 years, and they are a huge fan. And which, again, if you're part of the community, you know Santana always says there aren't any fans,
It gives me
and that they should have been given warnings before they were muted. And then another mod came and sent me a message saying that this woman had sent her a message saying, you should have warned me first. If I was Black, you would have given me a warning. And because I'm white, I see you. The entitlement when we are in people's spaces is non-existent. We're not entitled to the creator. We're not entitled to the mods. We're not entitled to anything except for the content that's put out. You can agree with it. You can disagree with it. You can have good conversations in the chat, but it became, very glaringly obvious to me that a lot of people think because they're quote unquote friendlies that they can then just say, or, further marginalize, further erase, further, harm marginalized communities. And so that's why I really wanted to bring it down to the fundamentals, the humanity, and make sure that people understand how we harm each other, even if you think that you are a friendly, even if you think that you have done some work. And the last thing is that we have a lot of times where, especially on sparring, you guys know how many people can come in during sparring, and there'll be a topic that somebody doesn't know about, and they'll be like, hey, what's this? Instead of just kind of dipping out of the app for 5 seconds to Google something, they want it spoon-fed to them. And they think because they are in the environment all the time that there's no more knowledge for them. Or they get that information, they are educated on what something is, and they go, I still don't know what that is, without wanting to do any further reading or education for themselves. So I think it's important that we break these things down to the very, little bit, so that we can get into a much heavier conversation on intersectionality and why that's so important too, as we have in the past.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get into the conversation, and we're going to really, I think this is going to be a really good night. I think this will be an opportunity for a lot of people to learn. And I also think this will be an opportunity for a lot of people to be able to expand the knowledge that they have, while also understanding the different ways that we exist in and outside of the communities that we belong to. Really quick, work in progress. How are you?
I'm pretty good, man. How are you?
Good, good, good. Can you tell the people, are you a part of any marginalized communities, and if so, which ones?
I am. I'm non-binary and queer, and then I'm part of the disabled community as well, because I have autism. I'm visually impaired, and yeah.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. And one other question, outside of your communities, how well do you feel that you actually know about the marginalization of other communities and the way that things are weaponized against them?
For other communities, that's a good question. I've been learning and deconstructing a lot. I don't think you could never really know enough. So I think it's really hard for me to kind of gauge. But I have been diving a lot into it. So it's such a hard question for me to answer personally. But like I said, I have been learning a lot. Okay. But I don't necessarily know if I know enough, honestly.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Before we go too far, I want to make sure that I let people know, for the people on the panel, guys, please use TikTok friendly language. What does that mean? That means that we use words like pew pew, unalive, C19, mustache man, all of those types of words that allow us to continue to have the conversation and protect not only your TikTok, but it protects the stream as a whole. Also, just FYI, this is a safe and friendly community. What does that mean? That means that we don't deal with any of the isms, racism, sexism, classism. We don't deal with any of the phobias, homophobia, transphobia, none of that. We don't play them on the panel nor in the chat. Speaking of the chat, guys, please remember, Caps are for mods. Caps are for mods, and if you use caps in the comments, it will draw my attention away from the comment section and down to the chat. And one last reminder to anyone who's coming here, like King Kong, whatever, this is not a debate. This is a panel discussion. Please leave. We're not debating anyone. There's plenty of people that are debating or talking about Trump. Please read the room. Please take a look at the background. This is literally a panel discussion. We're not debating. If anyone is here and you are looking to debate, if you are joining the request, thinking that you're going to get a chance to debate, that is not what we're doing here. Late Nights with Santana is all about community, education, and growing. Now, with that being said, make sure you guys continue to actually do your part. Tap the screen, share the live, send me your daily heart. Me, it's only 1 coin. I'm going to keep resetting the daily gift goal to these little 1-cent gift goals. It'll help boost a lot, push us out to the FYP. Welcome in, Ari Raid. Welcome in, Ari Raid. Last but not least, guys, if you enjoy what we do here on late nights and you want to keep it going and you want to support the live, please consider donating. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support late nights, just like Joshua. Joshua started us off with a bang with a $25 donation saying, thank you. Thank you for being authentically you. Your voice is important. It speaks for those who can't. Keep pushing, King. We see you. We're proud of you. Thank you so much, Joshua. That means the world to me. W's in the chat for Joshua, guys. W's in the chat for Joshua. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. All right. Omni, I want to come to you first.
Yep.
Omni, I know you talked about the actual communities that you currently exist, or the community you exist in. And just to check really quickly, what is your race?
I'm white.
Okay. That's what I thought. All right. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to take you outside of the community that you currently exist in, and you've been watching for a while, and I just want to make sure that we have a baseline, because a lot of people have this question often and can't actually answer the question. But what is race?
Race was a social construct created for basically like to put white people on top of the hierarchy.
Okay. All right. Pretty close. All right. I'm going to keep it there just for a second. Omni, can you also answer what is racism?
Racism, as I understand it, is the institutional discrimination against non-white people to put white people just on top, basically.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Give me a second here. I'm going to come back to you, Omni. Work in progress. Just to verify, what is your race?
I'm white.
Okay. Same question to you. Do you agree, disagree with either one of those? Is there anything that you want to add?
Yeah. So, race would be the socially acceptable phenotype characteristics. And then racism, I wish I had a better answer. I probably can't say no to what
It's okay.
Anya had said.
It's okay. We're literally just trying to get a baseline. It's okay. All right. Joanna, coming to you. Heavy lifting. Can you break down what is race and racism?
The answers were good. Race is a social construct that was created to marginalize everyone that isn't white based on certain phenotypical characteristics that society deems important. It's not just skin color, which a lot of people think. Nose shape, lip shape, the way your eyes are made, your hair texture, in addition to your skin tone. Racism is the deployment of systems, in this country is each and every single one, based on marginalizing everyone that isn't white, from the judicial system, medical system, immigration, criminal justice, everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Joanna. Kay, coming to you. Understanding that a lot of people have a hard time with that question, right? A lot of people, and you know, to give both Omni and Work in Progress, they did better than most people, and you know, I think that speaks to the fact that when talking about a social structure, a structure, a hierarchy, a system that we all exist in, but it affects us differently depending on where we fall within that hierarchy. It kind of speaks to how we, I don't want to say necessarily understand it, but how we at least come to try to understand it. Kay, why is it important to have a true understanding of things such as race and racism?
Because it's the foundation, especially in our country, but globally. It's the way that society functions to keep those marginalized, even outside of race. It follows the same hierarchies, and so there is that cross section that we're trying not to talk about this week, but there is that intersectionality between those groups.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's something that a lot of people struggle to understand because it is often relegated to what Joanna called out skin color, right? And a lot of people think that racism can be structured on a individual level when, you know, that's not how it works. It's larger, it's more encompassing, it's more detailed than just that. And so that's something that I think is really, really important. Working, coming back to you for a second. What is sexism?
So like sexism, I would say would probably be like, similar to racism, but it would be like, I'm trying to find out how to put it in words. It'd be like kind of the understanding of how kind of the patriarchy holds back like non-men, and you know how the patriarchy like, I guess like is implemented in like the systems that we currently have in society.
Interesting. Okay, hold tight for a second. Omni, coming back to you. Working actually said a word, and I want you to actually tell me what's the patriarchy?
The patriarchy is a system that favors men. Well, like in America, it would be white men in most other places. And it puts them like at the highest social position or social status within the system, where they don't have any additional barriers to other marginalized communities, such based on race, gender, things like that. It just puts them on a pedestal.
Okay. Interesting. All right, 1 second. Joanna, coming back to you. Can you break down sexism? And I think Omni did a pretty decent job with the patriarchy, but anything that you want to add to flesh out the patriarchy as well?
It is similar to racism in the sense that it was formulated to be set up as a hierarchical system where men are on top, women and children at the bottom. Because men of color, especially Black men, have to deal with the intersectionality of race as well. White men are always going to be at the tippity top of the patriarchy. Sexism, similar to racism, but deals with gender and sex, because it absolutely involves gender as well, which is another social construct that is designed within the system, created to hierarchically keep everyone who isn't a man underfoot, including children.
Yeah, yeah. Perfect. Give me a second, Joanna. SB underscore girl 2021. I sent you a request. I want you to come up. I think this is an excellent opportunity for us to have a conversation. I know that you're actually kind of going back and forth with people in the comment section, and I would actually rather extend an option for you to join the panel. I think your voice is really important at this moment, just due to some of the things that you're saying. To be clear, the comment that was made is racism also occurs within any culture, society, and or race. Black people and brown people can also be racist. Now, this is super interesting because not only is SB underscore girl 2021 someone that follows me, but they also have the Late Nights with Santana badge beside their name. So that means that there's someone that at least watches the live. Give you a few minutes. Okay, go ahead and join. I'm going to make room for you because, again, I think that conversation needs to be had. Kate, before they join, can you tell the people, why is it that when we talk about sexism and the patriarchy, even as those two things precede the other structures that we deal with on a normal basis, it seems like those actual ways that the people who fall within those marginalizations, like it's minimized to the point where not only does it take more to fight those systems, but people don't tend to actually really care about people that fall within those margins.
Are you saying that people don't care about men?
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest with you. No,
I was joking. Why don't people, like, the sexism and the patriarchy are so harmful? Why don't people actually know as much and care as much as they should about those?
Because they do not think that it really affects them in the ways that it does. They don't see the harmful gender roles that people are placed in. They don't see the harm in believing that men are protectors when the people that women and femme presenting people would need protection from are men. And because of the hierarchy that's placed, it leaves a lot of internalized misogyny, a lot of internalized issues when it comes to like pulling those apart and deconstructing that from either how you were raised or how you were taught. We saw a lot of women recently just talk about how they're okay with a one household vote because their spouse should speak for them, which just goes to show that the harm in the patriarchy itself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing that a lot of people don't understand is the way that, I think Kay called it actually, the way that it impacts people that don't fall within those actual margins, but yet it is something that consistently negatively impacts us. And it's also something where I feel like of all the actual social structures, that's the one that is more widely acceptable. It's the one that's more normalized. It's the one that people justify in things of saying, well, men will be men, or saying like, well, women, they're delicate, and like there's a litany of things that are used to normalize that. And then also the way that even from a young age that boys are shaped in the image of like manhood or the gender construct of being men, and then the same way that young girls are shaped into the gender construct of being women. So I think there's a lot to that. And those conversations are something that we really, really, really need to break down a lot more. All right.
Can I ask one question?
Yep.
I just want to point out a good comment that I see. Well, it's not a good comment, but the question comes up a lot when we talk about the patriarchy or white privilege. And Owen here has asked the question of, am I automatically a bad person because I'm a white man? No, you are not a bad person because you are a white man. However, with that comes a litany of things that you could participate in unknowingly. There are a lot of harmful things that you could be a part of without even recognizing it due to the, gender construct of, man, and the, concept of whiteness, and how if you don't, move away from the concept of whiteness and, work on those things, like that's where the harmful comes in. No one's a bad person for just being white. No one's a bad person for just being, what you are. It's just how you work in those roles and how you actually, grow as a person.
Yeah. I think a lot of people hear us talk about these things and they automatically assume that people are pointing the finger and saying that you're bad or like you're the quote unquote problem. I think the thing that a lot of people don't understand is that when it comes to these harmful systems and structures, if you're not actively fighting against them, then you're being complacent and you are a part of the problem. And being a part of the problem, being able to say that you are no longer a part of the problem starts with ensuring that you can properly identify the problem, ensuring that you understand the problem, and then ensuring that you know how to actually work to fight against the problem. You can't actually fight against something if you don't even know what it is. SB, I sent you another invite. I know you said give you a few minutes. It's been a few minutes. I'm hoping that you aren't like bowing out and not joining the conversation, because I really, really, really want to have this conversation with you, because again, you said something that was really, really important. And I think it's really, really important that we get you up here. Omni, coming back to you.
So,
Omni, can you tell me what ableism is?
Ableism, the way I would explain it is not is not giving disabled people the necessities to have equity with non-disabled people, or enough equities. That's how I would describe it.
Okay.
I mean, I have ADHD, so I am part of the disabled community.
Okay. All right. Give me a second here. Joanna, I'm going to come to you on this one. Blow out the understanding of ableism for me beyond what Omni just said.
So ableism, much like the other harmful hierarchical systems, was created and seeks to further marginalize and discriminate people with disabilities because of said disabilities. Be it harmful language, harmful policies, ignoring said disabilities, all of the above.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you so much. Working, and correct me if I have this wrong, but I thought you said that you are also someone that's a part of the disabled community. Is that accurate statement?
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
perfect. Tell me about harmful terminology that exists around the community that's used by people, whether it's some that we openly know or some that people don't even know. Oh, I can barely hear you. You're like really, really muffled now.
Okay.
Oh, that's way better.
Okay, cool. I mean, I guess you have like all the really more common ones. Like you obviously, like for the disabled community, you have like, the R slur and things like that. For me, like people used to just call me like blind all the time, like just like to my face personally, and like kind of make a joke about it. um, and like things like that, and kind of say it like off the cuff, like they were like joking about it in that sense.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of like other terminology because all I really have are kind of like examples of like phrases, but not quite like terminology, I guess.
Okay. All right. Well, let's hold on. No worries.
Of course. Absolutely.
No, you're good. You're good. So I'll step in for a second and say I talk about this when it comes to certain terminology, and if you've listened to me enough, you know that I don't allow people to say DUMB in the chat. A lot of people, when speaking on a guest, they'll say, "Oh, this person is SLOW." We don't do that, but there's a deeper level, and there's more to that. Now, the one thing that I love to bring up is, while a lot of people may commonly know like the R slur, right? A lot of people don't understand that when it comes to the different dehumanizing terminology that's used, it's ever evolving, it's ever changing. It's things that we may have said in the past, but things that need to be removed from our lexicon because of the way that it actually is weaponized against people with disabilities. And Edith just hit something on the head as well. It could be something as simple as saying, well, this blank is your superpower, right? It's different when it comes to just phrasing terminologies and words as a whole. But the biggest thing that I've learned, and the biggest thing that I think we need to make sure that we understand, is while the language is ever developing, whenever someone within a marginalized community is saying that these things are dehumanizing, these things continue to marginalize us more, these things are weaponized against us, the best thing that we can do is take a step back, stop, listen, and then acknowledge that while moving on from utilizing whatever that is. I think that's one of the biggest things that we should have a conversation around, is how people tend to hear this dehumanizing language, and because it's something that they're so accustomed to, something that they grew up with or anything like that, then they feel like that, well, I used to say it, so I should be able to say it, and it's just a whole thing, right? Okay, coming to you. I'll let you take this portion wherever you want to go. If you want to blow out the understanding of ableism as a whole, if you want to talk about dehumanizing language or terminology, the weaponization of it, whatever you got.
So first, I really, Joanna just stole it from me in the comment. I just saw it. That to me is one of the biggest issues that I see, especially in like the internet spaces, and in different like chats and things like that, where people will have a disability, and then they will, maybe be on the panel and give, their take, and and then like there's this overwhelming need to like congratulate them on doing the thing. And I think sometimes when we when we do that, we don't see the harm in it. And sometimes even the people that are taking that feedback don't see like the harm in that. But we don't want to treat people like children, especially that are part of the disabled community. We want to make sure that we're utilizing the, best and up-to-date terminology that we can. So if we say, the phrase that's on the background is eye for an eye, the rest of that phrase makes everyone go blind. Mm-hmm. We don't use that because that would be ableist language. So we changed it to accommodate. Those are the types of things that we need to keep kind of unpacking. We talk about linguistic reclamation with certain things, and if you're part of a community, that you may say those things, but when we're in settings like this and we're trying to teach and grow, we want to make sure that we don't do, say the things that would be harmful to other people, but we also want to make sure that we don't do things that maybe our inherent bias doesn't even let us know would be harmful, like talking about people's sobriety because they may be slurring, or because, they might not be, making the best sense. We don't want to talk about, people and what maybe they have as a diagnosis because you've seen a pattern with maybe someone who has that diagnosis, and then you go, oh, well, narcissism, or, these things that pathologically need to be studied with a professional. Those things are all very harmful to put labels on people. So it's very important for us to make sure that when we're talking about ableist language, if we ask you to not use ableist language in the chat, that's not so much that you were discriminating or saying something bad about somebody that was disabled. We want to make sure that you're just not using the language while we're trying to have conversations and to grow and find out where those things came from. There's a couple of resources that I have that have a whole list that gets updated every couple of years, and it's a UK resource, but it does span globally, and it says things to use instead of. So things like people say all the time are like, oh, this guest is quote unquote crazy, or this is insane. Those are things that from a mental health perspective, if you're, constantly working with, people in that field, they're tired of just seeing everything called that and feeling like that. Because there's a lot of people who are neurodivergent who feel that way in their head. They're like, I can't, do my daily tasks today. So when people say it's a superpower, and meanwhile someone like can't make their bed or doesn't want to even get out of bed, it doesn't feel like so much as a superpower. So, it's really important that we just try to, be better. And it isn't something that people are going to get overnight. So if you get the call in, it's much better to just take it instead of, fighting against it and saying, well, I didn't mean it that way. That wasn't my intent. I didn't mean any harm. I'm sorry if you were offended. Like, those are all things that, just take it in and try to figure out maybe where the etymology came from or how it, worked like that.
Yep. I could not agree more. Thank you, Kay. I think a lot of people hear these things, they take these things in, and they, instead of it being a call in, which it's meant for, people take it as a personal attack or affront, and that's never the intent, especially within a community. The intent is to actually be better as a whole. And I always say, when you know better, you do better, right? So there's so much to that. All right, really quick, Omni, I want to come to you for a second because I'm getting ready to swap you out. But Omni, through this brief conversation and this exercise of trying to blow out and have more of an understanding of not only the communities that we exist in, but the other communities around us, what did this tell you about yourself, and how do you want to approach things moving forward?
I'm really sorry. Can you just repeat that one more time?
Mm-hmm. Based off of what the exchange that we just had, going back and forth through the different types of examples with like racism, sexism, ableism, what did you learn about yourself with going through this information, whether it's what you shared or what you heard, and how are you planning on moving forward now that you have done that?
So I was always more focused on racism and sexism, like sexism as a misogyny, and like I didn't even consider I did consider ableism before, but I never looked too much into it. I knew it was a thing. I knew it was bad. I just never looked too much into it. And like listening to the conversation, I realized how much I was ignoring it, even though I do have ADHD and it has affected me. It just made me realize there's other things I have to focus, which comes in with intersectionality too. It's not just like one or two things I have to focus on. If we want to move forward in society, if we want to move up, eliminate inequality, inequity, we have to target everything.
Yeah.
That's racism, sexism, ableism, homophobia, xenophobia, everything.
Yep. I think that's such a great point. A lot of people, and that's why, when I was talking about like sexism and the way that people don't necessarily put a focus on it, and it's just more accepting. A lot of people tend to deal with what's in their face and the things that are in front of them and the things that they widely know, and miss the other important facets that people deal with. And the big point that I wanted people to take away from that was understanding that thinking outside of ourselves and being able to address our blind spots is something that we all should be working on. And I think that you did that here. I appreciate you coming up and joining the conversation. I'm going to go ahead and drop you down. Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I was just wondering about things like internalized bigotry, such as internalized racism, internalized misogyny, internalized homophobia, internalized ableism. What's the best way to approach that? Because I realize there's a lot of I have an internalized bigotry, and I try to get rid of it. I am conscious of it, and when I do realize at the moment, I try to use my conscious to make a better decision, make a better decision moving forward. But at the same time, it always comes back, and I just want to know what's like the best way to, quote unquote, deconstruct that internalized bigotry.
Yeah. Well, I'll say the thing that you have to understand is that it's something that you can never stop working at, right? Just because you learn, that doesn't mean you've learned enough. Just because you grown just doesn't mean that you've grown enough. The point of working to quote unquote deconstruct is the fact that it's a lifelong process, because if you are not someone that is affected by these certain systems, if you don't fall within these marginalized groups, then you don't feel the direct effect. And so you are actively being someone that could perpetuate the harm. And so making sure that you're reading, making sure that you're listening to the voices that of the groups of these people that are affected, and then also actively working to fight against it. And that is also, bringing in people that would fall within the same category as yourself, and spreading the education and ensuring that people are actively fighting and get together with you. That's how you do it, right? The reason why I talk about like the plight of women, right? The fact that like misogyny is so prevalent, the patriarchy, and how that is so harmful, is because that's something that I actually benefit from. I benefit from the patriarchy. I benefit from misogyny. And so I actually have to actively fight against it. I have to use my voice. I have to try to educate myself as best as possible. I have to center the voices of women and femme presenting people in order to not only highlight, learn, and grow, but to actively fight against it. So you have to take those steps and figure out those steps that you can take by pulling other people that fall within your same category further to where you are to help dismantle them. Also, yes, therapy. deconstruction therapy
Yeah,
is a good thing.
also in chat, some people are saying read books. I do want to. There's a lot of books that I do want to read, and it's just hard for me to find time right now. But any chance I get, I will try to read as many books as possible. Try to increase my knowledge. So far, like I do listen to your streams. I do like watch some videos, read some things, but it's not like gotta read full books. I work 13 hours every single day, so I don't have much free time anyways.
I don't know if you do. Like I'm sort of similar. I know for a fact that I don't do well with just sitting still and reading because regardless, I use Audible. Audible is like the way that I can multitask. I can continue to consume the information, and my mind is actively engaged while I'm actually doing other thing. But there's a multitude of ways that you can actually, quote unquote, read without having to sit down and actually read. Do you know Ari for Education?
Oh yeah, I love Ari. I tune into her streams from time to time.
Okay, Ari has a Discord server, a reading Discord server that you can actually join. Are you 21 years of age or older?
No, I'm 18. I was about to mention I am 18 years old. So
are you a Nazi?
No.
Okay. All right. So as soon as you are 21, you can join. But yeah, like I'm sure. I don't know if you're in.
I did want to join.
I'm sorry.
I am in your Discord. Okay. I was saying I did want to join. I did want to join Ari's server, but I'm not 21.
Okay. Yeah. I know we have some resources in our Discord, and I will see if we can work to get some more information as far as additional options. I know a lot of our community members share like other options as well that you can utilize if it's, like just reading flat out isn't your thing, but there's a multitude of ways. But anyway, I appreciate you for coming up. I'm going to go ahead and drop you down. Okay.
All right. Thank you, man. I love you, Santana.
All right. I love you as well. Thank you. Working. I want to come back to you for a second. Same question. What did running through that exercise teach you about yourself, and what are you gonna take forward from that?
Oh gosh, taught me so much. It taught me that even though like I kind of thought I knew a lot more, I think I overestimated kind of how much I knew and could put into words when asked about the definition. Because it was like, I don't know, it was like I was like prepared to give a speech, and then you asked me, and then apparently everything just kind of fell out of my skull. But also like just kind of like learning about like the dehumanization, like even when Kay was talking about like the superpower. I have been told that. I've been told a lot of like things kind of close to that. Like one of the things, like when people would say something, I'd be like, huh, that kind of sounds like they're like like a jab at me, or something like that. And then people would always tell me like, oh, don't worry about like, oh, you took it the wrong way. Like a lot of times like that, just mostly because like how I said, like I'm autistic, so like I kind of take things I kind of take things as they are. And I'm like, huh. And like people from my own community would tell me that, like people who were very close would tell me that. And I was like, no, I was like, it really just kind of seems kind of wrong. And like the more I kind of like learn about that, I guess, like the more it kind of like, I guess, affirms that I was correct.
Yeah. The one thing that I'll say about that is never let someone, I don't want to say gaslight, but shame you into thinking that your response to something that just doesn't feel right, that doesn't sit right, is wrong, right? A lot of people, we talked about this last night, but a lot of people like to hide behind the mask of, oh, it's just a joke, or oh, you're being too sensitive, or oh, you're too woke. Understanding the way that people try to justify the harmful rhetoric, the additional marginalization, like all of these things are ways that they weaponize the behavior, they excuse it, and they continue to perpetuate it. And so it's super important that we call those things out, and we don't just accept someone saying that, oh, it's just a joke, or oh, you're being too sensitive. Calling those things out and actively fighting against those things is some of the one of the most important things that you can do. And I'm glad that you took a whole step back and you were able to realize that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like definitely like I've been doing a live deconstruction, and it's never something that you ever complete. It's something that you always work towards. So I've just been constantly trying to work towards it. But I definitely appreciate you bringing me up, Santana. You know, I love you so much.
Absolutely. I was trying to get you in last night, but it was crazy. So I'm sorry about that.
I know, no, for sure.
I'm really
thank
happy
you so much for having me up, man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Have a good evening.
You too, man.
Guys, if you're interested in joining the conversation, go ahead and request up. We're going to get more people in here in just a few minutes. So if you want to join the conversation, we will be adding additional people to the conversation in just a few minutes. Before we do, really quick, over on the old Twitch, W's in the chat for Courtney's, who resubscribed for 3 months over on Twitch. W's in the chat for Courtney's. Thank you so much for that. W's in the chat as well, guys, for Amy. Amy sent a $20 donation saying, thank you for all that you do and speaking up for so many marginalized communities. Amy, it's literally my obligation. I have to do this. Like, this is what you guys give me the platform for. This is why you guys give me a voice, and you don't have to thank me for that, but thank you for that. You said, I use these things to learn from you and other creators I found through through you every day. You're awesome. I'm okay. W's in the chat for Amy, guys. If anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. If you guys enjoy what we do here on Late Nights and you want to keep Late Nights going, please consider donating. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support Late Nights. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. Guys, if you don't mind, on TikTok, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and knock out the daily gift goal. It's the finger hearts. It's the finger hearts. Please, please, please. Knock out the gift goal. Also, you guys have been slacking. I know we're sitting back listening and joining the conversation, but we only got 54,000 likes. Don't make me get Edith up here. Don't make me get Edith up here. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 100,000 likes. All right. SB, how are you?
Hey, Santana, how are you doing?
Good. SB, thank you so much for joining the conversation. I apologize that it took so long to get to you, but I appreciate you coming up.
No, it's fine. I was cooking, so it's fine.
Oh, wonderful. SB, quick introduction. Are you a part of any marginalized communities, and if so, which ones?
I am part of the disability community.
Okay.
And also being a woman is also marginalized community. So yes.
Okay. Perfect. And what would you say is your overall knowledge of other marginalized communities and how the systems that are currently in place affect them?
I was telling the chat that one of my I majored in sociology, so one of my focuses in sociology was race relations, and I took various courses, and this was back in the 90s where a lot of these classes were just being really introduced. I mean, they were controversial. Like there was classes on, gays and lesbians, trans, everything.
Trans people.
Yeah.
People.
Trans people. And so it was, a different time. But it was so eye-opening because it's, really helped me understand a lot more and in my own observations in society and with people. And I was saying that racism isn't something that can be just narrowed down to white versus all the other races. I was saying that there is racism amongst the different races. And in one of the movies, I don't know if you saw Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing.
No, what is that
I think
about?
he was... Spike Lee is a director. He did a movie back in the 90s called Do the Right Thing. Okay. And the movie was his trying to illustrate how racism occurs amongst, everybody. It's not just black and white. It could be black versus Asian, or it could be Italian versus black. So it was giving that perspective, and he was Spike Lee is he's made great movies like that, and I'm always, we've always referencing that movie.
Did they end up doing the right thing at the end?
The right thing was, it's really interesting because at the end there was a lot of turmoil, a lot of chaos, a lot of rioting. And
why did they riot?
They were rioting because of it. And I haven't seen the movie in a really long time. So what I remember was there was tension building amongst the races. And in New York, there's a lot of, segregated communities. You have the Asian neighborhoods, the Black neighborhoods. So it was about people going into each other's neighborhoods and being, sometimes it was just.
Yeah, and like especially in the 90s, in New York, they could have been rioting over anything. Heck, they could have been rioting over pizza, like for all.
Well, that's there's a great pizza scene in there because there's an Italian pizza place where a lot of the Black, people would come and order pizza from every day. It was an everyday thing. But when the racial tensions built up, they all became enemies.
Yeah.
It was interesting to watch that. And I've seen it, in my own life. I'm 57 and I've seen like people who are racist in between, like Indian people from India. They have, with the caste system, it's not just about class. It's about the shade of brown you are. And I've seen a lot of them.
Hold on. We're almost there. It's okay. I want her to be able to finish. Come on. It's okay. I sent you a request to come off mute.
Okay. Sorry.
No, go ahead and finish.
So, a lot of these things have been based on race and in society. And I've noticed even the way that we, in our society, even on television shows, even if it's a Black comedy show, the people that they pick, or if it's Indian, I've noticed that they tend to look more Anglo. Like, and I've noticed that. It was like, that is what people define as being attractive,
That's interesting.
And it's like,
I don't know,
always,
all the Black TV shows that I watch, growing up, I didn't really see people being more Anglo.
Not the ones I grew up, because I grew up, in the 70s. So I watched,
one of my favorite shows was, Fresh Prince, right? I mean, and everybody, it was a beautiful cast, and so I don't know.
Well, I was way before that. I was like Good Times and the Jeffersons.
Who was one of my favorite characters on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Aunt Viv. She was such a wonderful character. She was awesome. She really helped guide and stabilize the show for a lot of seasons.
Yeah.
All right.
It was a good show.
It was a good show. It was a good show. You said a lot. I'm gonna come back to a couple of really, really basic things, and you've answered a couple of questions. What is race?
I can't really give you a definition. I mean, offhand. I mean, it's usually a group of people who dislike another group of people. I mean,
Race
it sounds
is a group of
simplistic.
people that dislike other people.
Yeah, that dislike other people for their certain characteristics.
Okay.
And it can
race. Name as many races that you can think of just off the top of your head.
Blacks, Asians, white, Anglo.
White and Anglo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Any more?
Hispanics.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I mean, that's all, you know,
So those are the 5 racial
it's
categories.
not all of them, but those are the major.
How many do you think there are?
I don't know. 6, 7.
6, 7. Okay. I had one more. Oh, who created race?
Who created race?
Mm-hmm.
I think we just evolved into different races. I think society created the construct of race.
Mm-hmm.
I think people gravitated to certain areas, and they had certain characteristics.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay. All right. I think those are all the questions that I have. Oh, one more. I see that you follow me. How long have you been following and been?
I've been following you actually for like well over a year.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
how
well
often,
over a year.
How often do you watch?
I have not jumped in lately. In the very beginning when the elections were going on, I was watching constantly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, constantly, because I had time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a caregiver, so I haven't been able to do that.
Got it.
Because of my job.
Got it. Okay. I want to read your comment one more time, and then we're gonna really push this thing forward, and I'm gonna give opportunity for both Joanna and Kay to speak as well. Okay.
Sure.
So your comment was, race also occurs within any culture, society, and or race. Black and brown people can also be racist. Oh, one last question. What's the difference between race, ethnicity, and nationality?
Nationality is where you're born, where you're born and you're brought up. Ethnicity is what groups you're made up from.
What do you mean?
What countries? If you're Irish, or if you're Indian, or if you're Moroccan, it's different ethnicities.
Okay. And what's and you didn't have a good you said it's different ethnicities, that's what ethnicities. Okay. You said a lot of wrong stuff. Like pretty much almost everything that you said was wrong. Like literally from beginning to end. Like you said so many wrong things that I couldn't even keep up.
Well, that's what I'm here to learn. So it's interesting because
so the reason why I really wanted you to come up is because you had such a strong and emphatic statement. Racism also occurs within any culture, society, and / or race. Black and brown people can also be racist. That's not a learning statement. That's an emphatic statement. That is a definitive statement. That's a statement as far as I want to go debate solid on Black people can be racist. Like that's the type of statement that was. That's not the I want to learn statement. So we will learn.
I was offering a different perspective where I think that Well, I was offering
It
something
was
where it wasn't.
No, it was just wrong. Like I'm not even coddling anymore. I'm not no kid gloves. It was just wrong.
Okay, and how was it wrong?
Oh, don't worry, we'll get to it. Joanna, floor shows
Okay.
first.
Ooh, child.
Yes.
So, did you notice that, SB, did you notice that when you were asked by Santana to list the races that you were aware of, you said blacks, Asians.
Also, Anglo is not a race. I'm just gonna get that before Joanna or Kay tries to take it. Anglo is not a race. Stop saying that. Sorry. Go ahead, Joanna.
Like you said those with an S on the end, but then when you got to white, there was no S on the end. Why was that?
I don't know. I don't know why I said it like that.
Well, don't do that again. They're people, just like when you started talking about the LGBTQIA community, they're people, like the Black people, Asian people, also Hispanic isn't a race either. White people, they're people.
Well, yeah, I didn't think it was. No, I didn't
Neither's
say
Indian.
Italian was.
when you were describing races and
she said Spike Lee's movie.
Was ethnicities. I'm sorry.
She did later on when she was describing Spike Lee's movie and talking about the tension between the races. You definitely mentioned Italian, and that's not a race. But you said that you wanted to learn, but you were having a back and forth with multiple people, including me in the chat. That's not a learning stance.
Well, I asked some people to tell me why I was wrong, and nobody would give me the answer why I was wrong. So that I didn't really have a chance. There were so many people coming at me, so I was trying to answer.
Did I not specifically respond to you and say that's not how race functions?
Also, you said you have a sociology degree.
Yeah, I do.
You should get a refund, or like get some continuing education. You said that you took those classes in the 90s. Like there were still people teaching that Black people had thicker skin in the 90s.
There were still people teaching what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
There were still people teaching that Black people have thicker skin in the 90s.
Okay. Yeah, times have changed. I mean, I understand that. That's why I'm in here to get a different perspective from what I was learning back then. I mean, I've watched race change, definitions change over the years, each decade, and the way that what I was exposed to today would not be politically correct, and I understand that. That was my generation.
It's not politically correct. It's not correct, period. Definitionally or functionally, it's not correct. So you think everyone can be racist? Let me ask you a question, give you a little scenario. I'm going to pull a Santana and, pop a little analogy real quick. So if, say I'm in security and I come to your house to install a panel with fingerprints, so only you and your family will be able to access it because those are the only fingerprints that are going to be on file, right? If Santana came to your house and put his fingerprint on that scanner, would it work or no?
For the different fingerprints?
Correct.
It would only recognize the fingerprints it was programmed to recognize.
Right, because that was how it was made to function, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So racism and race were set up to function a certain way with a certain purpose. So the people who it wasn't designed to function for cannot participate in that system in the same way Santana's fingerprint wouldn't work on your fingerprint scanner at your house because it wasn't designed to function for everybody's fingerprint. It was made to function for certain people, just the people in your house. You get it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why everybody can't be racist.
I said not everybody. I said any group can be racist. I mean, to each other. I mean, there's racism in every group. I mean, I'm not saying everybody's racist in that group. I said there's some
you're
people.
Saying everybody can be. Everybody of any racial group can be racist, is what you were saying, correct?
Petty, I text them. Sorry, go ahead.
I think I didn't really word it correctly, but I was just
don't worry, I got
racism...
it. I took a screenshot. Racism also occurs within any culture, society, and or race. Black and brown people can also be racist. I got it.
I've seen racism occur in Black communities between Blacks, and I've seen it occur
in white
communities.
You did Blacks again.
Ma'am.
Okay, this is just semantics. I mean, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Oh, whoa. It's not semantics. That's why we keep correcting you. Hey, language of inhumanity. Literally, we were talking about dehumanizing language. And one of those ways that people dehumanize others is by removing the categorization of quote unquote people and then just reducing them to Blacks or illegals, things like that. That is dehumanizing, and that is made to be able to continue to oppress people. So when Black people, myself and Joanna, correct you and say, hey, it's not Blacks, it's Black people, and we give you that correction in real time, it's not just semantics. It's not just whatever. It is a correction that you should actually be taking in and be willing to hear, listen, and evolve from. Just like when you were trying to talk about quote unquote gays, I said gay people. When you said quote unquote trans, I said trans people. It's the humanization. So you refusing to actually accept that, understand that, internalize it, and make sure that you are correcting yourself, that's a problem. Sorry, go ahead, Joanna.
Yeah, like the fact.
Okay, you're right, but you're right, but I'm not. It's
fine. Like the fact that we're having this conversation on late nights this week, and you get corrected and using that language, and instead of saying, "Oops, you right, my bad," you say, "Well, that's just semantics." Nah, bruh. Like if. I'm sure some of y'all in here have been watching Sparring as well. Shout out to Twin, because Sparring is always on point too. We've been talking about the 1619 project because he just finished reading.
Yeah, that's the book that I just ordered, actually. That's what I was interested in today.
Congratulations.
You should also order The Delectable Negro. I think you would enjoy that one.
Hopefully she wouldn't try to pull some recipes out of it. But there is an issue with the language because language matters and it carries over into actions. And like Omni said earlier, we need to get all of it out because if one of us are marginalized, then we all are. In the book, it speaks about an 11-year-old girl. Trigger warning, chat. Trigger warning, content warning. This is going to be a bit graphic. I apologize. If you need to take a little bit of space, if you need to scroll out for a little bit, I won't go into too much detail. I won't make it too long, but trigger warning. There was an 11-year-old girl named Danielle Hicks Best that was gang assaulted on multiple different occasions. She filed police reports on both of those occasions. Instead of her being assisted, instead of her being helped, she was locked up and charged with filing a false police report.
Yes!
That came from the racist trope that began before slavery, but was absolutely utilized during slavery, that gave slave owners the right yes, I said the right to sexually assault the enslaved women and girls, the men too, and the boys as well, but specifically the enslaved women and girls, because they called them Jezebels.
Yep.
They said that they wanted it.
Yep.
They said that that was what they were used to.
Yep.
That they were excited about it.
Yep.
That they didn't say no because they couldn't say no. They couldn't even consent. But the way that it bleeds over, the story of that little girl happened in 2008. That's not something that happened in 1965 or 1976. It happened in 2008. And it bleeds over into everyone being harmed because it's not just Black women anymore. They tell white women the same thing now. Why was your skirt so short? Why were you alone in that house with that man? Why did you have so many drinks? She must have wanted it. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been dressed like that. Words matter.
No, I know.
And they
I know
don't just
they do.
stick to one marginalized group. It carries over until one of us is safe. All of us are not safe. So I need you to understand it.
Yeah. Okay. I wanna pass it over to Kay. And then we just got Ari up here as well. Kay, I know there was a lot that was said, a lot of things that we absolutely have to correct and kind of speak to. I want to give you the floor, and we'll keep it moving.
So, SB, when you did come in, is it possible? Well, first, I just want to kind of say we're the same generation, and I went to college in the 90s. I'm a double board certified physician in psychiatry. I also had a heavy focus on sociology. The thing is that sociology that was taught in the 90s is not sociology that's taught today. And it seems like you are very stuck in, and genuinely, I'm not even sure, because you don't even have some of the terminology from having a major in that field. It doesn't even seem like you have that. And I don't want to argue that with you because the degrees don't matter. But what does matter is the constant education. And so when you said what you said in the chat and you were corrected, your reply wasn't at all to go, whoa, why are all these people correcting me? It was to say, I studied this. And then you asked me a question. You said, what's your def? What's your definition? When we were talking about racism. And I didn't reply to you because I'm sure that I could ask you if you've read the first 10 pages of the dictionary, and that answer will probably be no. But definitions have little to no use.
And they're lazy.
They're absolutely lazy, and they don't.
Yeah, I believe they're constantly changing, and they're not just simple, like a simple definition for things.
So
it involves
hold on a
more.
second. I'm going to ask that your sentence not start in the middle of mine. And I'm going to ask, because definitions are not important in the functionality at all of racism, is it possible you don't understand racism?
I don't know.
You don't know if you don't know?
No, if they don't know.
So it would be okay for you to say, you know what? After this conversation and the things that have been said, it's clear I don't know what racism is. And then we could point you in a huge direction of places to go and become more educated. But if you've been listening to Santana for over a year, this conversation specifically has come up numerous times. And so for you to come in and then be uncomfortable in the chat and then start kind of lashing out instead of just listening, then you're really not here for any education, and you really don't want to learn past what you already did. And I'm assuming because you listened to Santana during the election that you heard a lot of talk about the racism that was happening during the election and the misogynoir that was happening during the election with Kamala Harris. Do you know what misogynoir is?
There you go, Kay.
Do you know what misogynoir is?
No.
Okay. So if you listened for over a year, it's disheartening to me that you would not know what that word is, because it was used almost every night while Trump supporters came up on the panel during late nights and had conversations. And it seems like maybe you've tuned in a few times and then just kind of tuned out.
I tuned in sometimes just to listen and learn, but I was working in between that. So I would try to catch as much as I could during the election time.
Have you watched since the election time?
I've watched a few, yeah, not a lot, because I've been really super busy. My job has changed, so.
When's the last time you actually spent time in our space?
I really can't say. I mean, today I popped in and I listened and I heard about the book, and it was fascinating, and I, was learning a lot. So I wanted to read the book, and it's just, I've been out of touch with the actual formal education part of it. I haven't been able to.
Okay, no worries. I was just,
because I've been working.
I'm gonna pass it back to Kate. Really, really super quick question. Did you vote for Kamala Harris?
Yes, I did.
Did you get a blue bracelet?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I didn't.
Do you know what the blue bracelets are?
I think it was for, being a Democrat, right?
It was,
or being a friendly.
It was an actual, because 90% of Black women voted for Kamala Harris, and there was a disproportionate amount of white women that voted for Donald Trump, and so white Democratic women had the idea that they could get a blue bracelets to identify themselves, to let Black people know, like, hey, I didn't vote for Trump, I voted for Kamala Harris. I don't identify with those other white women.
Okay, I didn't have a blue. At the time that the elections were happening, I was a full-time caregiver, so I had very little access to go out.
No worries. I was just wondering, like, what did you think, or what do you think about that ideology, like being able to get something to identify yourself, to let those Black people know, like, hey, I'm a safe person because I didn't vote for Trump?
I think it would be fine. I mean, I would consider it, of course, because it's hard to find out who's a supporter and not a supporter these days. And once when you meet people, you can meet anybody on the street. It's divided us so much that I'm afraid to even open my mouth anymore.
All good. Okay, we got him. Go ahead.
Do you think that you would be a safe person to wear that bracelet? Let's pretend it's not performative as late nights. That word right back. Let's pretend it wasn't performative. Let's say it was an actual depiction of the safety that you were around Black people. Do you think you're a safe person to be around?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You think Black people can be racist, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You said that you've seen it between Black people, correct?
Yes.
I
Give
don't
us
want
an
an
example.
example.
No, God. I almost cursed. Please, I
Nope.
want an example.
Nope, we're not going to let the white woman trauma dump what she saw. Do you know the difference between bigotry and racism?
Bigotry is having as hatred or discrimination of different groups, not based on, I mean, race is specifically race. Bigotry could be for anything. Could be for gender, for class.
Do you know why there are different words for different things, such as prejudice, racism, discrimination?
Yes, I mean, it's the right word is used and it's not like a blanket term.
Okay. So could you tell me, with your understanding of race, which the definition you gave of race, just to remind you, was that race, the definition of race was races not liking one another or not getting along.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, discriminating against each other.
Okay. What if I told you that race, your whole entire idea about race, is absolutely wrong?
Okay.
Race is a set of, it's a hierarchy. Would you agree with that? Let's start one question at a time, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. Who's at the top of the hierarchy?
It's usually the white person.
White people. Who's at the bottom?
It's usually Black people.
Do hierarchies work in two ways or one way?
Hierarchies work in one way.
So how could Black people be racist to white people?
That's a good point.
Wait, did she say usually?
She said usually.
You said usually?
I understand. She said usually. Listen, I feel like there's such a fundamental misunderstanding of the very basics. I mean, if you don't know that race is a hierarchy based on phenotypical characteristics that society deems important and has nothing to do with racism, which is the system of oppression that the hierarchy has and the functionality of race, I think you need to start from the beginning. I don't even know how you had one class of like sociology 101 in the 90s, because in the 90s, they were also teaching that. So I find it highly suspect that any of the information you've given us tonight came from an accredited university at all. And I think that maybe, you know, this project or the project, this book that you picked up because it sounded fascinating, which is another just peculiar word to me that you chose.
Well, it was very interesting when I was learning today about how there were, you know, so many white women that did not stand up for all women back then. And I was just,
so your greatest takeaway of all of the things that were discussed in reference to that book was about white women?
That's all I heard. I only heard a small segment of what the discussion was. So
Okay.
that's all I heard.
I didn't even really talk about white women.
You literally said 2 sentences. Apparently, she was in the live for 35 seconds.
I
I'm so
really
sorry.
was
SB,
because I
listen.
was working. So I heard that white women would not support Black women, and that it was that Black women were getting raped, and when they made laws, that it only applied to white women.
And you were like, "Wow, I got to grab that book and find out how that happened." Okay.
No, I have not been
is
in
maybe if you haven't continued your education formally or through books in your free time, I don't think that then you should join in on a conversation where you then are saying you're the authority with your degree.
I wasn't saying I was an authority. I was saying that
You made the comment. You were told no by many people. And instead of going, wait, how am I confused? Why are so many people doing that? You said, I studied this in university. So how am I wrong?
There's many things I said that are wrong, and I understand that, but I did not. I was, at the time when I was listening, I was cooking. I couldn't even look at the screen.
I had to remember cooking. I had to remember cooking means two different things, Kay. Because I was sorry.
Okay.
Well, I'm working right now. I had to take some time out from my job.
SB, listen, you have given excuse after excuse after excuse instead of just saying, I don't know. I don't know is an acceptable answer. You've actually kind of I'm sorry, go ahead, Santana.
Really quick, Kay. Ari, check Discord, and Kay, you do as well. 1 second. While both of them check Discord, keep tapping the screen. W's in the chat for Corey. Corey sent a $5 donation saying, what's the point of lying about a degree in sociology of all things on live about social problems? Come on. W's in the chat for Brookie for the $1 donation saying, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Brookie. W's in the chat for Brookie. Guys, if anyone else likes to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Santana speaks for you is the best way to support the live. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. Keep tapping the screen. Knock out the daily gift goal. It's the high bears. It's the high bears. Knock out the gift goal, please, please, please. Kay, are we good?
Yeah, I'd like to pass it over to Ari. She's been waiting so patiently, and I'm so sorry.
No. I mean, you can finish. I just want to make sure.
And I'm there. So I know.
I know.
I would just politely ask that. I see that you follow me, and I don't know when you did that, but it's clear that you've never listened to me speak to other white women either. But this is part of what I do for a living. Is corporations send people like you who don't have knowledge and are problematic employees that think that they know things to me to work on deconstructing whiteness. So if you want more resources, I'm more than happy to do so. I would also like to let you know that we have a lot of other creators that are tangentially related to the platform that have their own platforms. One of them is Above You, who is like the most brilliant person that I have come to really enjoy listening to, because of how I can't really put it into words. It's, to me, I just think that Ari is a stunning example of being able to educate when really like just not having the engagement, and still educating people constantly. But for you, I really think like the invisible knapsack would be the very first thing that I give you to start looking into inherent biases and like just kind of unpacking a journal, your favorite, pen or pencil, whatever, instrument you like, and listening to more spaces that you're challenged in without commenting and then arguing in the chat when you don't know better. Because this whole week is talking about basic humanity, and the way that you labeled people with S's stripped everyone of their humanity tonight.
Yep.
It stripped even yourself because you just said white or whites. Like you've dehumanized the queer community. You've dehumanized Black people, Asian people. I mean, you don't even know what the 5 races in the United States are. Mm. And that's super problematic to then come into a conversation. And so I genuinely, I hope that you take some resources and ask for them. And I hope that you listen to what Ari and Joanna have worked or Ari's going to, but the work that Joanna has done. And remember that Black people's labor is not free, and everyone's pay links are in their bio, and that you could also pay for the education you're receiving this evening, even though Late Nights is an educational space.
Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links, and links are in the bio.
Also, one last thing before, I'm sorry, Solid, super Solid.
No, don't plug Solid, because I've been texting him the whole time and he's not here. And no,
okay, listen, he is in the future. No, Santana,
no, because he's not here, and I've been texting him this whole time. No.
Okay, well, he's in the future and works and also needs sleep. So we're not going to be texting him when it's the next day for him. Yeah. We're going to be respectful.
You would.
So Solid, I would. Super Solid 4 TP. I would recommend that you follow him. He has an excellent Patreon that is super economical. If you can't cover the cost, this is like the only time I'm doing this. I know that there are other people who are better than me, but I will cover it for you for the year. But if you literally were a sociology major, you would want to do better and you would want to do that. But Solid has a Patreon right now that people are taking a class on race. And half of what you were describing was colorism that only is part of the Black community. It has nothing to do with the white community. And so there's so much that you need to learn. I beg you to listen to Ari and then make some time for yourself, 5 minutes a day to better yourself and reclaim wherever you were at. But sociology has changed.
Oh, I realize that. That's why I'm trying to learn. I'm just trying to listen and learn.
No more. No, you weren't trying to listen and learn in the comments. You were fighting back and you're uncomfortable. So just listen. Ari's amazing. Joanna's been amazing. Just listen.
Racism also occurs within any culture, society, and or race. Black and brown people can also be racist. I'm just going to keep reading that screenshot. That's not a learning statement. Thank you, Kay. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's get the likes up to 200,000 likes. Also, take care of the wonderful people on the panel. Please, please, please. And remember, pay links and link tree in the bio for everyone. Make sure you're showing everybody some love. Ari, I'm sure there's a ton that you want to talk about. Ari, were you here for the whole thing? No pause? Nope.
I came with the Blacks.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
Okay, so I don't know if you just heard what I just read off, but that was her comment that she put in the comment section when we were talking about race and how that works. She said, racism also occurs within any culture, society, and or race. Black and brown people can also be racist. She also told me about this amazing movie from the 90s. I'm going to have to go check it out at some time, called Do the Right Thing. It was about how races in in New York were like at an all-time, they were at an all-time high at each other. Like the Italian race was upset. She talked about like how Black TV shows also, you know, focused on Anglo characters. The actual characters were Anglo. What else? Oh, she has a sociology major. She got a degree in this as well. Black people can be racist. Oh, there's 6-7 races. She said there's 6-7 races. And also Morocco and Italian are ethnicities. Yeah.
Okay. 6-7.
6-7.
So for me, my approach to this is really, I just like questioning where people get their information from. So really quick, SB, and I only came up because I saw people asking for Solid, and I bet Solid was sleeping, so I hope I'm a good enough substitute, because he has taught me so much myself.
Solid's gonna be so mad in the morning. And I'm gonna be mad. And I'm gonna send him the screenshot too. He's gonna be so mad, and I'm gonna laugh in his face. Nerd, sleep.
I hope I do him justice with the things he's taught me myself. So really quick, SB, what is structural functionalism?
I don't know.
Okay. What is racial triangulation?
I don't know.
What is conflict theory?
I don't know.
What is symbolic interactionalism?
I don't know.
Do you know 3 out of the 4 of those things were 3 paradigms understood under sociology? And that is how we study societal structures, to understand how they influence and navigate society. So when you just gave the description that they read off in the chat of what you said about race, where did you get that from?
Oh, wait. Hold on. Tell her what race is again one more time. Never mind, I'll speed run it. Or it's when the grouping of people don't like other people. That's race. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ari.
No, you're good. Where did you get that from? Where'd you get that understanding from?
I don't know.
Oh. Okay. Do you recognize you answered all of the answers with I don't know? I'm being serious. I'm being genuine. Do you recognize that you answered all those questions with I don't know?
I do not remember any of this when I was studying sociology. Maybe it was the courses I was taking. I don't know, but
I mean that's fine. But also, like my degree is in biology, right? Like I studied biology, and I'm an educator. Yeah. And my thing is, even with my degree in biology, my education doesn't stop there. There are new things being discovered in biology every day. Like earlier, actually, one of the things I pulled up and I actually debate on because it's a newer study. Is a study was published in January of this year in terms of the understanding and the sociology of masculinity under gender. So science is constantly changing. Sociology is a science, right? It's how we study societies, right? So yes. It's important within our practice, if we're going to practice these things and say we are these things, that we continue to hone our practice. I'm an educator, right? I go to trainings all the time because things that we learn about child development change regularly. We learn new things about children's brains and what best supports them regularly. So continue to Kay's point, because I was listening, WK in the chat. We love Kay. That was so sweet. Thank you. To all the things Kay said, continuing, like degrees don't matter, but the continuing education and being a lifelong learner is what matters. So if we're going to come into space, right, and say, I do this thing, I study this thing, right, and we're not continuing to hone that thing that we studied, that really doesn't hold true anymore, because now we're out of date in our practice. It doesn't matter anymore. And I also say that as a person that has been gravely affected by this. And I want you to hear me when I say this. I typically, in my field, and what I do, I'm the youngest person in the room. I'm like, literally, I just got done running a board meeting. And I was the youngest person on the board meeting because I'm in my 20s. And there's a lot of individuals who are older than me who have mentalities of, I have this degree and I know everything and I'm smarter than you because I'm older than you and I have this certain degree because I don't have my master's. Yeah, I'm working towards my master's, right? That have actually been detriments to programs I've run to serve marginalized communities. They have harmed those communities because they want to put a barrier between me and supporting those communities because they're not honing their practice and they think they know better just because they hold a degree. But then when I got to cuss them out and tell them how much I know, even though I don't have a degree that's higher than theirs, but I hone my practice and I self-educate, when they got to sit down and move out of my way. Or I'll just do it behind their back and go, aha, I did it and I did it without you. When we are not honing our practice, we are a detriment. So do you think with the things you said that you might be a detriment now, that you might be dangerous because you have not continued to educate yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm totally out of touch with, I've been working. I have been totally out of touch with learning. It's just work. That's all I do. So,
yeah. But when people are educating you in the chat and you say, nah,
no, I never said nah.
That's what I hear they're saying that you said, and I trust Kay and Santana and Joel.
I can literally go back to your comments. Like, do you want me to go grab your comments? Do we like? Because I can go get your comments if we want. I'm so good at putting screenshots on the screen.
That's
like I've learned how to do that.
No, it's not necessary.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure.
I had a quick question for Ari for a sec, if I could.
Mm-hmm.
An excellent point was made in the chat. When was Kimberly Crenshaw introduced to us?
Oh, I don't even know what year she was introduced. Honestly, it was more recent actually. That's more
late
recent
80s,
concept.
early 90s.
Yeah.
In the 90s, when this would have been the field. And she is an instrumental figure in sociology. And what you said too in the comments, SP, just so that Ari has a good idea, is that your focus was on race relations.
She did say that.
Yeah, and there was also like a more recent, like if we're talking about like recent studies, like Stanford, and like I think the study was published 2021. I've been giving it to Santana and Sala to use in racism debates. Right? Stanford even put something out, the 7 factors that contribute to American racism, which breaks down the different components and needs for racism to exist and to be racist. It talks about passivism, right? Denial, hierarchies, all of those things are. Excuse, ma'am, leave your brother alone. Leave your brother alone. Sorry, dogs. All those things are necessary. And so, like, they've already said all the things to you, but I'm pointing out how dangerous what you did in the chat is, especially to people like me who are trying to do the work. And even though I might not have the degree, I have the continued education because I have a desire to learn and actually address these issues. right? And for when people do that to me in the practice that I do, that stops me and that delays more time for people receiving supports that could be detrimental to them. Spanish speaking supports to help them be educated, access to mental health services, because I work in the nonprofit sector, things like that. I just had and I'm not even going to say all the things I need to do for those things, but that is detrimental when I have people going nuh-uh based off of their feelings because they're not honing practice. I'm only being nice. I'm going to be very clear. I'm only being nice right now because this is late nights and Mama Jones is watching.
Tell the people what I told or what I sent you in Discord, Ari.
He said, don't break the toy. He messaged me saying, don't break the toy. And I promised I wouldn't, because normally with white women like yourself, I would have cussed you out by now. I really would have, because you're dangerous. You're dangerous to me. You are especially a danger to Santana. Especially because I hope you don't do it. I don't know if you saw in the chat. Everyone was saying, don't you start crying. Because the second a white woman starts crying because they're being called out, right, on stuff that's harmful, those tears can mean Black lives. And you got 3 Black people up here.
I was about to say, not tonight, Ari. We got our own white woman up here. Oh, we can fight back.
But like, even in the chat, they were saying, don't you start crying, because they were concerned about the white woman tears that you were potentially going to display. So I'm just more concerned at this point because like Joanna and Kay did all the educating for it. Like, all right, that did all that point. I'm just here to point out all the I don't knows you said, right? And rather than the nuh-ahs, right? How much that when you're in denial of the information you don't have, how much that could be a detriment to people's lives. Instead of doing the nuh-ahs, ask them where they got the information from. That's what I do. Right? Where'd you get that from? It's a really simple answer. And if people can't give you where they got the information from, then they probably don't have the information either. And that's when you can go find out for yourself.
Okay.
Hey, SB, why do you think we've been up here going through all of this? What do you think the point of all of this was?
Was to educate me.
No. What did you take from what Ari just said?
I don't understand what you're asking.
What
do you remember the question I asked you about the blue bracelet and if you were a safe person?
Yes.
And you deemed yourself a safe person?
Yes.
With zero knowledge in demonstration this evening, do you still consider yourself a safe person?
No, because I need to learn more.
So the first part is knowing that you're going to be uncomfortable while learning information. And I think you were very uncomfortable because it was very clear to me that when you and I were talking, you kept trying to come up with answers to my questions. Ari came up and asked you 3 questions and you said, I don't know. But you didn't know to the questions that I was asking you either. You just kept trying to come up with something. I don't know is an acceptable answer. The arguing back and forth, you're kind of why, and I don't know if you were here for the very beginning of the live when we were talking about why we were holding this week. It's for people specifically like you who would consider yourself a friendly in the chat. You know that term from like, oh, that person's a friendly, Like they're part of the community. Okay. So you would have considered before right now, you would have considered yourself a friendly, right? You watched Santana, you were a supporter. Okay. You aren't a friendly. You haven't put any time or effort into learning about the topics that he discusses. You don't know the basics of sociology or race, its function, how it came about, why it was invented. You think it is something that just naturally occurred over time, which is absolutely not true. And if you're really serious about learning, instead of giving you the answer, I want you to research who created race and in what time period. And if you give me that, I will give you unlimited resources and knowledge that I have, so that the next time someone says that you are wrong in the chat, you can say, I have this source, this source, this source. What's your source?
I want to say, SB, I want to make sure that you understand, because Kay like broke it down, but I want to be very, very clear. The reason why I invited you up here and I wanted you to join this conversation is not because anyone up here was trying to educate you. Heck, I don't even think you actually listened to any of us. If I'm going to be honest,
I was listening.
If I'm going to be honest, I don't even think you really care about anything that anyone said. If I'm going to be completely honest, I think that you started off by telling your cool stories, and you told me about the Black movie, which of course I know, Do the Right Thing. Of course I know who Spike Lee is. I was being facetious. And then allowing you to speak, and this is what Kay tried to shut you, or not shut you up, but stop you. And I wanted to continue to let you speak. I let you say all the words that you know, because the point that I'm at when we're trying to have this conversation, and literally the comment that you made, this comment right here, racism also occurs within any culture, society, and or race. Black and brown people can be racist. At the point that you were making this comment was when we were talking to people who don't belong to certain marginalized groups, and we were trying to get their understanding of the different ways that systems affect them and terminologies affects them. And as we're sitting up here with people who were genuinely engaging, you with your whole chest were super loud and super wrong. And it came from a place of thinking that you had the high ground because you said you had a sociology degree, but obviously you haven't properly educated yourself. Making such an emphatic statement and such a bold statement while actually knowing nothing is the caucasity. It's literally just the caucasity. I would love for you to actually stay and engage and be a part of our community. But to Kay's point, this is literally the reason why we're having this topic this week, is because there are so many people who claim to be a part of our community. They claim to actually watch, they claim to follow, but they don't know the basics. And not only do they not know the basics, but they weaponize their ignorance of the basics. They take this comment right here after watching my live and then go over to Solid's live and request up on his panel and debate him about Black people can be racist. And I think to myself, how are you watching my live and say that you're part of our community, and then you go over to Solid's space and debate him on that topic? Not saying you did that, but this is the problem. People who claim to be a part of our community while not actually learning the important aspects of the community, it's either we're failing you or you're failing us. And we just got to figure it out. So if you say that you're a part of our community, but you're making statements like this, there's a failure somewhere.
I mean, for me, honestly, like, I agree, she don't care, for real. Like, because the biggest gag is she started arguing with everybody in the chat after all of us on the panel had given descriptions of what race are, or what race is, and what racism is. Like, that's literally when she started arguing with people in the chat. Like, everybody gave fairly descriptive answers when those questions were asked. And instead of you being in the chat saying, I didn't think of it that way. That's not the way that I was taught when I got my degree. Maybe I should do some further education. Maybe I could go Google some things or listen to what they're saying and pick up some stuff. It was, nah, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Anybody can be racist. Black people can be racist. Well. And then for you to say, well, I wasn't paying attention to the chat because I was cooking, but you was paying attention enough for them fingers to be flying because you were arguing with everybody the whole time until Santana called your name and sent you the invite. Then all of a sudden you had to go because you was cooking and working.
SB, did you learn anything at all from anyone? Like, genuinely?
Yes, I did.
What?
I'm learning that how important using language is.
No, not symbolic. Not symbolic lessons, like actual information. What actual information from all the multitude of things that were shared? What actual tangible piece of reproducible information did you learn?
To listen.
That's a symbolic lesson. I'm not talking about to be a nice person. I'm not talking about to, do good things happen. Do bad things, bad thing happens. My name is Earl. No, like what actual tangible, what's race?
That tracks so much.
And she ran. No one kicked her. She ran. She literally ran. And that's why I said this entire time, she hadn't been paying attention. She wasn't listening. And she thought that she was going to be able to say, well, I learned that I got a lot of learning to do.
I feel like I know that the chat is like all of that and like nothing. And it can feel deflating, but that conversation wasn't just for SB.
Nope.
That conversation was for all of our community to realize when we need to take a step back and learn more. And I tell Santana this constantly. I have been deconstructing for over 25 years, coming up on 30 years. I'm old AF. And I always tell him at the end of the day, I'm still a white woman. It doesn't, there was someone in the comments earlier that's like, you're giving us a goal with nothing at the end of it and it never stops. And, we just like have to do all this work. Yep. Yes. It is work, but it honestly becomes something, in my opinion, over all of these decades, it's become enjoyable to like keep up with everything. I see so many people that are my age that don't know things or can't figure out references from people who are different generations than them. I think it's a privilege to be able to sit here and keep learning, to pick up books and keep learning. And there are other people who put in the work. And the reason that you don't necessarily know who they are is because we don't all join panels. I'm the token white here, and I get that. And that's okay. You know, this is why Santana can't be racist. He's got white friends.
I got white friends.
So I just implore every other person who's in here that is white, or doesn't even matter whatever race you are, there's still unpacking to do. There's still unpacking for everyone. And to recognize our privileges and not say like, well, I have to work and I have to cook and I have, you know, kids and all. I raised 2 kids. I went to school. I have a medical degree. I have practice, like, and I'm still here trying to volunteer my time with Santana because even though we still don't agree politically, never will. Maybe one day you might join us. You might become one of us. But
Pokemon go to the polls.
Stop it. But even though we don't agree on that, what we do agree on is uplifting voices. And the reason I stand behind Santana so much is because I call him like the positive pipeline. Because he brings people in at one place, and that's what makes our community so great, is that you come in one place. You might be a moderate Democrat, come in and listen to these lives, and then all of a sudden you hear more and more people, you're introduced to more and more concepts, and then all of a sudden you're in all these other spaces where I see you, because I am in those spaces. And so I genuinely love this community for that. And so if all was lost on SB, okay, we're all dangerous to some degree as white women. And she's just going to continue being dangerous. I'm going to try not to be as dangerous as I was yesterday. And that's what we could take from it as white folk.
I just like the running at the end is just wicked work. That's like nasty work that she actually ran at the end.
It's the comfortability piece. We talk about it all the time. She was so uncomfortable. She couldn't come up with one thing that she learned. She couldn't even, say that what race was, even if it was, a chopped up version of what she had just heard. It was too uncomfortable. And that's the privilege that white people have. Hit that X and like, oh, I don't have to be part of this uncomfortability anymore.
Okay. We're over. We're almost at 2.5 hours. So Kay, any closing thoughts from you?
Nope. I think that tonight was a really good example of why we didn't label this particular, even though it's on the bounds of intersectionality. The reason why we're not really labeling it as that is to just get to the basics and make sure that we include everyone from that very almost right position all the way to, the most, left position, and see why we need to focus on humanity, our language, our knowledge, and why it needs to keep happening and keep moving.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kay.
Have a good night, everyone.
You as well. Joanna, any last thoughts from you?
Well, one, W Lexi in the chat for the cash out. Boom. She said because black labor isn't free. Boom. And it very much isn't, especially not this close to Juneteenth.
I know, right?
So shout out to Lexi, W to you. W panel, enjoyed everybody that came up except for SB. It was giving clown. It was giving attention seeking, very much exhibiting the tenets of white supremacy, the right to comfort. Girl, no, just no, ma'am. Absolutely not. Running them credentials down and then saying, well, I wasn't saying that. Okay, girl. Sure, Jan. WRE, always love listening to you educate. Shout out to you for taking it real light. If this was sparring, both of us and Kay would have cussed her out a long time ago.
I literally had to tell Kay as well, don't break the toy before Ari got a turn. I literally saw Kay getting to the point, and that's why she was like, yep.
W everybody on the panel, W everybody in the chat. Y'all kept it real cute. Y'all dragged her a little bit, and I love to see it. Y'all were very mindful, very cutesy. I enjoyed it. WU for hosting this late nights. The week has already been fantastic. We have a couple more nights to go, guys, so continue to stay tuned. Thank you for letting me up. I appreciate you. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Joanna. And last but not least, Ari. Anything else for the people?
One, W nerds, long live the nerds. We take over, we run this.
Oh, no.
Two,
we cool AF around here. I don't know
nah,
about nerds.
nerd gang, nerd. But yeah, no, I think most important in terms of like intersectionality too, I think this idea of meritocracy comes into play as well and how people try to leverage it. So I think it's really important for people to take in consideration too, that this does happen in workplaces, right? Like the story I told you guys is absolutely true. Like I am typically the youngest person in the room in my real professional job. And that puts up a lot of barriers to people receiving information from me. And it doesn't mean anything I'm saying is false. They just don't want to hear it because it's coming from a young Black voice. So that's just things that people need to unpack and to take in consideration. Just because you hold a degree doesn't mean you know everything, literally. And I hold a degree and I know I don't know everything. Mm-hmm. But for people who don't want to know stuff, I run a book club. I run a book club where we literally unpack stuff together and we read, we vote on books. So the community has a say in the books that we read. You can suggest books. No, I'm sorry, we're not reading the Kamala Harris biography. I'm a socialist. We're not doing that. No. But we do read books on capitalism, white supremacy, sexism, all the isms and phobias. So if you guys want to join a 21 plus Discord, and you just can't be a Nazi.
No kids,
and it's
no
20,
Nazis.
Yes, 21 plus, because we are reading on white supremacy and how it functions, and white supremacy is grotesquely violent as Santana is reading from the 1619 Project.
Oh, I finished it last night. Oh no, wait, I finished it this morning. Yeah. I'm gonna read it again. But I had to take a step back because I feel like I missed some stuff. And so I started Poor Economics, and then after I finish that, I'm gonna go through it again.
And if you guys want like a really good book recommendation to follow the 1619 Project, if you want to learn more about how Black women specifically were treated during chattel slavery, right? Read Bell Hooks' Ain't I a Woman?
The way you've talked about that in like parallel with the 1619 Project, that scares me. I feel like I need like a few books in between those before I do. I feel like it would be a lot back to back.
I mean, it is a lot back to back because it's going to keep talking about the violence Black women specifically face at the hands of racism and sexism.
Yeah.
So like she's saying, oh, I'm surprised white women didn't stand in solidarity. White women were mad at Black women because Black women were being assaulted. Not their fault, right? And instead of faulting their husbands who were doing the fault, they were faulting Black women instead of coming to terms with whiteness, right?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize.
You got it. And so like those things are important to learn, and you learn about that Anti-Woman by Bell Hooks. It's very, a lot of trigger warnings. Ooh, what did I say?
No. People were saying, what's the name of the book again? And so I was just going to repeat it, but you said it.
Oh yeah, Anti-Woman by Bell Hooks. Really good book. Lots of trigger warnings though, because it just, again, this is why the discourse 21 plus, so much violence is in that book. But yeah, 21 plus Discord. There is an application process to enter because again, no Nazis, that's how we vet. Be prepared because my mods yell at me too, just as much as Santana's mods yell at him. My mods yell at me.
Just bullies, all of them, just bullies.
Nah, but sometimes I need to be yelled at, so it's okay. I let them yell at me. I'm like, okay, my bad. I apologize.
Not me. I'm a victim. I refuse.
So my mods will yell at me. Please be prepared to send a screenshot of your profile because we do check your profiles to make sure you're not a Nazi. Because we have had Nazis try to get in. So we try to keep people as safe as possible. I don't believe in safe spaces because everyone is inherently harmful, but we do try to make sure the space is as safe as possible, and we try every day to be safer for each other. And so, yes, and soon, I want us to start watching documentaries because I think documentaries are also a very valid form of education as well. So check out
have you been able to see the 1619 Project documentary on Hulu?
Not yet. I know it's there. There's also a kid's version of the book.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering how the two compare and if it was worth watching. That's the reason I was questioning that.
I read the book enough. I don't want to watch it in like visual form.
That's a good point.
Yeah, like I don't. Yeah, no, thank you. But there are really good things like Peach recommended, like Bad Faith in terms of like evangelical Christianity and the abortion bans. Like I think that's really important. So I want to start watching things like that. But yeah, sorry, I digress. I talk too much and Santana has to go. But I love y'all. Appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for having me up. And yeah, check out book club. I'll see y'all later.
All right. Thank you, Ari. That was in chat for Ari. Yeah, 1619 Project and Bell Hooks, Ain't I a Woman? Ain't I a Woman? Bell Hooks is dope. Like to be fair, the only book of Bell Hooks I've read so far is Teaching Community, which I would say it's a solid recommendation, meaning Solid recommended the book, but Solid actually recommended the book from a friend. So I don't even know if Solid read that book. We're not going to give Solid credit for that one. I don't think Solid even read that book. Solid said that he got that as a recommendation for Solid catching L's all night. As a matter of fact, when he's live tomorrow, whenever he's live, spam peaches and L's in his chat. A bunch of peaches, a bunch of L's. We want booties all over his screen for him taking the L tonight. So there's that. I already text him. I text Solid like 3 or 4 times. Don't worry, Petty won't block you. I'm a super mod, and I will unblock you. If Petty blocks you, I will unblock you from Solid space because I am a super mod in Solid and Ari's and Jeff space. So I got you all. Don't worry about it. They made a deal, and we're good. We're all good. Peaches and L's everywhere. Yep. Couple. Okay. Stop. A couple of quick thank yous. Okay. Couple of quick thank yous. Debbie's in the chat for Susan for the $25 donation. Susan said, thank you, Susan. That is absolutely awesome. You're amazing. Thank you. Debbie's in the chat for Lexi for the $5 donation. Lexi said, I wish I could. Lexi, stop. Seriously, thank you for the 5. Black people labor isn't free. Thank you for all that you do. I'm just deconstructing just a deconstructing white woman, and these conversations are so impactful and more powerful than you may ever know. You desire my entire bank account at this point. Love you. I do not deserve your entire bank account, but I just appreciate you being a part of a community that's trying to listen, learn, and grow. Like that's the most important thing. Debbie's in chat for Corey. Speaking of mods that bully me, Corey, you could have just sent a message, whatever, dude. Corey sent a $4 donation. Said one more thing. the misty widely wait the mist not misty holy smokes the widely accepted propaganda defined in the 1990s sociology studies on racism include colorblind racism, intersectionality, critical race theory, laissez-faire, and structural racism. I'll never understand people lying so publicly. Yeah, like why do people lie about their degrees? You know, they got a degree in biology and then they were a pharmacist and they got 9-foot ceilings. I just don't understand why people are out here lying about all their degrees. I will never, ever, ever get it. Anyway, W's in chat for Corey. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. W's in the chat for Joseph with the $10 donation saying, I won't read that out loud, but Joseph, I genuinely appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being a part of the community. I see the work that you're putting in, and I am proud of you. W's in chat for Joseph. Seriously. Who got 9 degrees? W's in the chat for Jason for the $5 donation saying, fantastic late night. Thank you for continuing to do the work so that other people can possibly do their own. W's in the chat for Jason. That's literally the point. I must read that again. W's in the chat for Jason, who sent a $5 donation. Fantastic late nights. Thank you for continuing to do the work so that others can possibly do their own work. That's literally the point, guys. We have to do it. You can't just sit in these spaces and say, I'm a quote unquote friendly, but you're not paying attention. You're not taking anything in. You're not going to be like intellectually curious. You're not going to look stuff up. You're not reading anything. You're not doing anything. Just the only thing that you're doing is saying, I am here watching this. We're not going to get better through osmosis. We're literally not going to get better through osmosis. We have to do the work together, guys. Like, that's one of the reasons I've been so excited about talking about the books that I'm reading, guys, because like I want you guys to get as excited as I am. But honestly, it keeps me honest to make sure that I'm learning the stuff that I'm supposed to be learning. Talking about this is it allows me to actually share with you guys what I'm learning and to make sure that I'm actually processing it. And plus, management gets tired of hearing me talk about it. Yes, Osmosis Jones. Management literally tells me not tonight. So, yeah. No W's for her. W's in chat for David for the $10 donation. I keep missing you on the timing, but I've been wanting to talk with you on late nights about veteran issues in the Iraq War. Hope to catch you soon. For sure. We got to do something. I think it is important that we do something with the vets really soon. I think that is, I don't think we've done anything specifically geared towards vets in a while. So we probably should do something with vets. We haven't done anything with vets in a while. I think that would be good. W's in the chat for David. Thank you so much for that. I think we are, W's in the chat for Manders for the one share bit to say, I'm glad we're having this conversation when we are, but damn, I wish there was someone open to learning rather than this woman. W's K, W's Joanna, and W's Ari for their amazing work. I just don't understand. Like, I'm gonna keep it funky. I knew we lost her when she was sitting there talking to Ari and she just kept saying, I don't know. And it wasn't an I don't know in the sense of like, oh, I just don't know the answer. It's one of the I don't knows that I've done when like I'm in an argument and I don't want to answer questions anymore. And I'm just like, whatever. And I just start going, I don't know. That's why therapy is important. That's why therapy is important. I freaking knew that was it when she started doing that. And then everything was just, okay. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, W's in the chat. Oh, guys, for anyone who doesn't know, follow this account right here. Here. I was looking at my screen. Here. Follow this account. This is the third account. This is the backup, if anyone's interested, I wake up in the morning and I've been doing like a walk and talk on the third account where I'm trying to do like 5 miles on the treadmill every morning. Like I'm trying to push myself to do that. And so what I do is in the morning, I get on this account right here and I just talk. Like we just hang out, we talk, and I get you guys to help me get through my workout in the morning, and then I answer questions, we talk about anything. Sometimes I go on rants. You guys know that I like to pontificate. So yeah. What time? I've been so I get up at 4 a.m. So it's probably going to be around like 5 a.m. Pacific, which is like 8 a.m. Eastern. So 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. Pacific. Like it's not a big deal. It's just, me on a treadmill, walking and talking. So also, some of y'all said that y'all were going to start a walking. You literally told me that we were going to start what they call it, Dwayne? A walking club or something? Dwayne, what did they say? Oh, no, this is an FYI. Sorry, this isn't on Twitch or YouTube or anything. This is literally just on the third account from my phone as I walk and talk. That's it. Yeah, you guys said a walking club. Dwayne, they said like a walking club or something, right? I'm waiting to see who else is going to be walking, because I said I'm not going to be the only one walking, and then y'all calling it a walking club. So if it's a club, it's not just going to be me walking and then the rest of y'all just watch me walk. Yeah, they did say like some type of walking club or walking group or something. I'm not going to be the only one walking and then y'all just sitting there watching me walk. That's not a walking club. That's not how that works. I am not in a terrible time zone. Don't nobody, you almost made me curse, Chelsea. I almost forgot that I was on late nights. Don't nobody want no darn matcha. Chelsea must have bought stock in matcha. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is, but Chelsea must have like bought stock in matcha or something, because the way she's trying to sell matcha to everybody, somebody need to go check out her portfolio. I don't know what happened. I don't know how much money she spent on this, but for some reason, Chelsea is trying to sell everybody matcha, and I'm not here for it. I am not interested in it. No. No means no. Keep your grass juice to yourself, Chelsea. She said, please look at my TikTok shop. I scrolled into Chelsea's live. She said, Santana, look at what I want to sell you. God dang it. All right, we got to get out of here for real, guys, because I do have to get up in the morning. I want to get up on time. One more. W's in chat for David for the $5 donation. On the subject of growth on the topic, a few nights ago, I have noticed a demonstrable improvement in my relationship with the woman in my life since listening to me. You can check with management. I got a lot of work to do. I appreciate it. I don't think that credit goes to me at all. I W's you. I don't think. Accept the request, Mike. Mike 89912. Accept the request. Where'd you go, Bub? Mike, accept the request. Mike, come out to play. Oh, Mike isn't going to accept the request. It's okay. I know. Dang it, Mike, you disappointed me. Mike 89912, you disappointed me. You dweeb. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. W's in the chat. Wait, did I finish that sentence? Oh yeah, no, W's in the chat for you, David. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, Mike is a dweeb. We're gonna get out of here. We'll be back if you got time in the morning. Like I said, follow the third account. This is the third account right here, and you know, I'm just gonna do some walking, and I'm gonna try to do this like every morning, and you know, you guys hold me accountable, I hold you accountable. And then we had sparring in the morning, night 3 of late nights with Santana. Late nights with Santana with this topic. And if you didn't get to join the conversation this evening, we got night 3 and night 4. So hopefully you guys will be able to join at some point and be able to, you know, do all the things. Okay. We gotta go. We got to go. Lego.
Yeah, this ain't your regular panel. Nah, we speak the truth. Late nights with Santana and Mama Jones watching. Better keep it clean. Let's go. Late nights, truth in the convo. Everybody get a seat at the table. From the block to the books, we mindful.
We sure can, Dwayne.
Dreams in the Bible. One mic, one voice, we build bridges from the heart of the hood to the world's big issues. Politics, pay, different cultures, but the real ones listen before they rebuttal. Late nights with Santana, yeah. Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot, but we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Yeah, late nights with Santana.
W's in the chat for the chat. Guys. I'll say this. I think what happened this evening was kismet. It was necessary to highlight this within our own community and root this out within our own community and address it within our own community. This is literally a call in. This is not a call out. We will be better as a whole. I think that's so important. We all have flaws. I have so many. And we can all grow and be better together. And that's all that we need to be doing, right? We need to control the things that we can control. And what we can control is how much we learn, how much we try to grow, and how much we try to be better people. And that's what we're going to do together. So thank you all for hanging out this evening. Thank you for making this a wonderful, wonderful night. I'll see you all in the morning. We'll do this again tomorrow. If you didn't get an opportunity to join, you'll have 2 more chances. So thank you, guys. Thanks for all the gifts, taps, likes, and shares. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for being the most amazing community that anyone could ever ask for. I love you all. And as always, peace.
Late nights with Santana.